You know that feeling when your brain suddenly screams, "Wait, tomorrow is Christmas Eve?" That was me today at work. I was typing an email, totally chill, and then boom, panic. No gifts, not even one. My heart just stopped. When I say I panicked, I mean it. To panic means to lose control for a second. Your brain goes, "Help!" while your body just runs. I grabbed my bag, coat, and scarf like I was escaping a fire. My coworker asked where I was going. I said, "Mission, urgent." Outside, the air hit my face like ice. I told myself, "Okay, Ellie, breathe." I love that we say, "You can do this." It sounds small, but it gives you courage. I needed that courage badly. I ran toward the mall, scarf flying behind me. To run toward something means to go in that direction fast, with purpose. My purpose was panic shopping. I mean, who forgets to buy gifts until the last day? All right, me. I hopped on a bus. That's how we say got on quickly. The lights outside looked like candy, all red and gold. I tried to calm down with some self-talk. When you talk to yourself like a friend, "It's fine, you'll figure it out." When the bus stopped, I jumped off and felt the cold air again. The mall lights were glowing, the smell of cinnamon everywhere. It already looked like Christmas exploded there. I took a deep breath. I was cold, nervous, but ready. Ready to fight for the last good gifts in the city. The mall was glowing like a Christmas movie. Music, lights, cinnamon, everything too much. I stood there, holding my phone with a list that looked like a nightmare. Mom, Dad, brother, sister, grandma, Katie. 6 people, 0 ideas. I sighed and started walking. To sigh means to let out air when you're tired or stressed. Like, I did that a lot. I thought maybe I could buy everyone the same thing. Candles, socks, mugs. Easy, fast. But it felt wrong. We say it feels wrong when something just doesn't sit right, you know? Like your brain says, meh. I wanted something with heart. So I told myself, okay, one person at a time. That phrase, one at a time, means not all together, step by step. Perfect for chaos. I opened the Notes app and scrolled through it. That's when you move your finger up or down the screen. My list looked sad. No inspiration, just names. Then I started wandering around, walking with no plan. The corridors were long, shiny, and full of people carrying huge bags. I almost bumped into a kid holding a giant teddy bear. We say to bump into when you hit someone by accident. It's super common in English and in Christmas shopping. Every store played loud music, and I kept looking around, hoping something would scream, "Perfect gift," at me. But everything looked the same. Candles, pajamas, chocolate boxes. I needed to figure out what each person would actually love. My first mission? Mom. She loves anything that smells nice. So I went straight to a little shop full of candles and creams. The air inside was warm and sweet, like vanilla and flowers. I smiled. This was her place. I started looking through the shelves. That means checking things carefully. Everything looked so cute, I wanted to buy it all. But then I saw a small box with 3 hand creams and soft pink packaging. Perfect. I grabbed it before anyone else could. We say to grab when you take something quickly, like mine. It's funny how even a small thing can make you feel proud. I imagined Mom saying, "You always find the prettiest things," and I almost teared up right there. Next on the list, my sister. Total opposite of Mom. She likes pastel colors, cozy things, soft scarves. I walked out and spotted a clothing store across the hall. To spot means to see something suddenly, often by luck. I ran in. There it was, a light purple scarf, fluffy and warm. I touched it, and it felt like a cloud. We say to feel like when something reminds us of another thing. That scarf totally felt like my sister. While waiting in line, I looked around and saw everyone holding gifts, couples, families, random teenagers, everyone trying to say, "I care," with stuff. It made me think, maybe gifts are just tiny messages of love. The cashier smiled and said, "You're early." I laughed, "Not really." We use "not really" when we disagree, but softly, like a tiny no. 2 gifts done, 4 to go. My hands were full, but my heart felt lighter. Maybe I was finally getting into the Christmas mood. Next mission, Dad and my brother. Easy, right? Not really. I walked past so many stores, electronics, books, gadgets. Everything looked cool, but useless. I needed something practical, not just shiny. I went into a small tech shop and started looking around. To look around means to explore a place slowly, checking what's there. I saw phone chargers, speakers, and even a robot that makes coffee. I mean, who buys that for Christmas? Then I found it, a tiny reading lamp. Perfect for Dad. He always falls asleep with the light on. I smiled because to fall asleep means to start sleeping, and he does it in like 2 minutes. This lamp felt like a little joke just for him. For my brother, I wanted something funny. I came across a shelf of mugs. That's when you find something by accident. One said, "Game on" in bright letters. He's obsessed with video games, so it made total sense. I grabbed it and laughed. To make sense means it feels logical or right. That mug totally made sense for him. I added a bag of instant coffee because he always forgets to make a real one. At the counter, I paid for everything. We use that to say, give money for something. My wallet cried a little, but it was fine. I was doing it for love, right? Walking out, I felt proud. 2 more names crossed off my list. The crowd was huge, but I didn't care. I was starting to get into the Christmas spirit. That means to feel the mood, the magic. Finally, next on my list, Grandma. I love her so much, but she's the hardest person to shop for. She always says, "Don't get me anything, sweetie," which, of course, means I have to get her something. I wanted a gift that felt like her, soft, simple, but full of love. I started walking around the mall again. That means moving without a clear plan, just looking. I turned a corner and found a tiny craft store that smelled like wood, cinnamon, and something warm. I smiled. This felt right. Inside, I looked through the shelves one by one. To look through means to check things carefully, not fast. There were scarves, candles, notebooks, tiny decorations, all handmade, all special. Then I saw them, thick wool socks with a small red pattern. I froze. They looked exactly like the ones Grandma used to knit when I was a kid. I picked them up slowly. To pick up means to take something with your hand, but it can also mean to lift your mood. And honestly, just touching them made me smile. They were soft, warm, and a little uneven. Perfectly imperfect, just like Grandma's hugs. At the counter, I handed over the socks. That's how we say, gave something to someone directly. The woman at the register with silver hair and kind eyes said, "These are my favorite." I told her, "They're for my grandma." And she nodded, like she knew exactly what that meant. Outside, the air was colder, but my heart felt warm. I stopped for a second and took a deep breath, breathing in slowly to calm down. It's funny how one small gift can make you feel connected to a whole childhood. I looked at my phone again. 5 names crossed off the list. Just one more to go. Katie, my best friend, my chaos twin. Finding something for her wouldn't be easy, but I was ready. Kind of. Last one, Katie, my best friend, my partner in every bad idea. I wanted her gift to be funny, but also real, Something that says, "You matter to me," without being too cheesy. I started walking around again, moving from store to store, hoping for a sign. Everywhere I looked, it was just glitter, perfume, and random things nobody needs. I looked through shelves of notebooks, jewelry, candles. Nothing felt right. That phrase, "to feel right," means something just fits your heart, and nothing did yet. Then I came across a small corner shelf with wooden boxes. To come across means to find something by accident. One box caught my eye. It said, "Tiny Wishes." Cute, simple, kind of mysterious. I opened it, and inside were little cards with positive messages like, "You're doing great," and "Take a deep breath." I smiled instantly. I love when a gift just clicks. We say it clicks when something suddenly makes sense or feels perfect. That was it. I knew Katie would love it. Actually, I knew we both would. So I picked up 2 boxes, one for her, one for me. I like that phrase because it sounds so small, but it means taking something for yourself too. Sometimes we forget that part. At the counter, the guy said, "You're getting matching ones?" And I laughed. Yeah, because we both need tiny wishes sometimes. We say matching when 2 things are the same, like twin gifts. As I left the store, I held on to the bags. It means to keep them close, to not let go. I felt lighter, calmer. I'd done it. Every name on my list, every tiny bit of love in a bag. And for the first time that night, I wasn't rushing anymore. I just walked slowly, smiling, ready to go home. When I finally walked out of the mall, it felt like midnight. Cold air, dark sky, lights everywhere. My hands were full of bags. My feet hurt, but I didn't care. I'd done it. I actually bought everything in one night. I stopped for a second outside the doors and looked up at the lights. To look up means to raise your eyes, and sometimes it also means things are getting better. That's how it felt, right then. I started laughing quietly to myself. People passing by probably thought I was crazy. But honestly, to laugh at yourself is healthy. It means you don't take things too seriously. And after today, I totally earned that laugh. The bags were heavy, but I held on to them tight. To hold on to something means to keep it close and not drop it. I didn't just want to drop the gifts, they felt like little victories. Every one of them was a story. I called a taxi and sat down on a bench. The air smelled like snow. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. That phrase means to breathe slowly to relax. And finally, I could. For the first time all day, no rush, no panic, just peace. The taxi arrived, and I got in. That means to enter a car. The driver asked if I was done shopping, and I said, yeah, just in time. Just in time means at the last possible moment. Perfect for me. As we drove home, I looked at all the lights outside and smiled. Maybe I wasn't the most organized person, but every gift I found came from love, even if it was last-minute love. And honestly, that's the best kind.